think I'm going to roll them. I was going to cut them first, but since I'm not exactly sure how much this hair is going to draw up when I roll it, and I am going to roll it wet because that's one way of smoothing out this natural texture without using a flattening iron or anything wet or anything heated. What I'm going to do is I am going to roll these, and I think I'm leaning towards perming rods. However, I'm not 100% sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll them and see how much this makes them draw up, and then we'll know how much to take off in the length, if any. And how well they hold the curl and all that. And what I'm going to do is I am going to comb them out very gently. And because I don't use brush rollers very much on my natural hair, because this little brush texture tends to pull at the scalp and make it very difficult to remove the roller, I think that with this type of hair extension, it will actually work well. I'm just going to secure it with this pin here. So that's the way I'm going to let these dry. And obviously it'll take a while. As well as I thought. For these larger wefts, these are wider, I was going to roll one section on a brush roller and then another, and it ended up catching, and when I tried to remove the brush roller, it was a big mess. So I don't want to do that again. I'm going to try some perming rods. I'm going to roll a large section on the perming rod because I think that the perming rod is going to curl it pretty tightly. So I'm actually going to roll a large section on the perming rod, like this. Fasten it. Nope, I don't like that either. You know what? It just seems like it would make more sense to pin curl. I'm just going to pin curl these. Rolling it around 2 fingers, grasping the curl, and rolling it in. And since the clip is on this side, these will actually be under-facing curls. This should be interesting. That's what we ended up with. Okay, so here's a set of extensions, pin curl set. There we go. I did sculpture pin curls on most of the ones that are more than one clip, and then for the ones that were just one clip wide, I did those on 2 on brush rollers, which I'm dreading because I have a feeling that's going to be a horrible idea. Hopefully they won't give me too much trouble, since I used the large ones here, but that was not a good plan, so hopefully it won't ruin them. And then I used large, I know you can see my yellow stained fingernails from all my hair color. I used large pin, not the largest, but larger peach colored perming rods for the other 2 that were the 1 clip wefts, and then I used pin curls for the rest. So we're going to see how this works out. So they were still really damp this morning. I'm shocked by how damp they were, and they still are. So this is my hooded dryer. It's a Babyliss Thermal Ionic Pro, something like that. But anyway, I put it all the way on high, and I have placed it over the counter. And there's a lot of warm air blowing on these, but it's not harsh warm air, so I'm actually really pleased with this idea. I think I might have to do this more often. So, yep, adventures in hair extensions. So here all the furry critters are after they have been pin curled and brushed out. And these are the smallest, and you can see how beautifully they took to the perming rods. So for smaller, more authentic 1940s styling, I would definitely recommend the perming rods because they are, you know, they're kind of a breathable plastic because they have these holes in them. So it's pretty easy for the hair extension to dry, as opposed to using a foam roller or definitely a pillow roller, which would make it more difficult for them to dry, because it did take a very long time for them to dry. The pin curled ones did not dry entirely still, even though I put them under the dryer for an hour. So this one is still a little bit damp, but what I did is I just combed it through with this comb as opposed to brushing it with my styling brush. But I still used the technique of brushing against the hand and all of that. But you can see how beautifully this piece turned out. So these are great, like 60s falls. I'm very excited about it. This one is the one that curled the least, and it is still the dampest. So I'm not exactly sure why that is. Completely finished now, and so I'm going to try them in a style. But I just wanted to show them to you. What I'm probably going to do to store them is I'm probably going to wrap them each up in a large pin curl and clip them shut and then put them in a bag like this. I think it would be the safest way to store them while not destroying the curl, because I don't want to have to wash and set them very often. So that's all. Thanks. These are really long. I left them super long so that you could see how long the extensions were when I first got them. I absolutely do not plan to leave them this long. I think they're a little counterproductive at this length, especially when it comes to setting them. So I'm going to probably cut a little bit of length off. So, you know, I thought I might as well mention that as well.